This episode is brought to you by Pulsar.
I feel sorry for somebody
Instead
who.
of you feeling sorry for them, let's start with be grateful that you're not doing that.
Oh yeah, so
Let's
true.
rejoice about the fact that we are at least a little bit of a common sense. We are able to use it. You know, there's a saying I often use that to tell people about myself. And sometime where I end up speaking about something, and then later on I feel a little bit embarrassed of speaking too much, and end up saying that please forgive me if I sound stupid. But then when a stupid speaks, the intelligent learns.
Well said.
Yeah. So the stupid people should not be the one to be pointed finger on.
Hmm.
They are there. They exist. But that doesn't mean for you to be, poking them for being or laughing at them for being stupid, as according to you.
Hmm.
But maybe they don't think like that. They may be happy with themselves.
Hmm.
Who are you to, validate that about them? But then let's rejoice on the fact, feeling that, okay, I'm not that stupid. Thank God.
Thank God, I am one step ahead. Wow, wow, that definitely changed my perspective. I
May I
had,
have a tissue?
of course, ma'am. I had a lot of. So in the beginning of when I started this podcast, I had a lot of. I was lazy, you know. I had a lot of
Okay.
plastic bottles here. I had a lot of plastic bottles here because we're drinking water in plastic bottles, and we're
Yeah.
just it's so easy to bring in the bottles and just put it right here so that you can just pop it open and just go for a drink. I had a very good friend of mine. His name is Kashish Shrestha. He's very well known on Twitter. He was over, and then he goes like, "We're talking about climate change. We're talking about so many different things. We're talking about a project that Nepal government was working on, where they were working on this airport that they had to chop down a lot of trees, and we're talking about that. And then Kashish looks at the plastic bottles and he goes like, "Just use cups." Like the way you just said it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. Rather than saying sorry for that person, just rejoice on what you have and what you're grateful towards. And just look at the good side in life. So I believe in this. When you point one finger at a person, the remaining other fingers point back at you.
That's very true. And that's how nature functions, actually, to be honest.
Hmm.
I feel really blessed that I had the teacher who really helped me to see myself before I see others.
Yeah.
I mean, in the context of seeing your own faults and your weaknesses and so on, because as we all say, nobody's perfect. But instead of you wasting your time and energy on pointing others to weaknesses and mistakes, why not you point that to yourself? Take the time to see what's wrong in me and then find ways how I can improve myself. Because once you improve, you're the one who will be benefited the first.
Hmm.
And then you add the value to the others around you.
Time is something that once gone, it's never going to come back.
Yeah, that's very true. It's impermanent. That's what
Yeah.
Buddha's teaching is about, impermanence. Nothing lasts forever the same. One day we are gone. After 50 or 60 years, imagine you and me. Do you think that we will be on this table? And
At least
talk?
I'm not going to be around. I wish you're still going to be there.
No. None of us.
Yeah.
Neither His Majesty the King, former king, or neither Prachandaji, who claims himself to be, the champion of the revolution in Nepal, who KP Oliji, who he's the president of MLA, so-called MLA, and then Congress go Deobaji, and all these people who are so strongly into themselves saying that we are the one now. But at least I'm really happy to hear that, okay, KP Oliji is really making point, okay, now the next generation should take over. I'm really happy to hear that. Otherwise, you see, Prithivinaran Shah, we read about him, but he doesn't exist now. He probably once was the most powerful being in this nation. You think of many of, nobody's there. The pop king, Michael Jackson, he's not here now. He was. So similarly, you and I, we will not be here forever. There's a time frame there. The only unfortunate thing is we don't know the size of the time frame. But the reality is that we are bounded within a time frame.
Hmm.
And then within this short period of time frame, we ended up doing things that didn't really add value to your existence or add meaning to your existence here. And you wasted your time all the time feeling agitated or agitating others. Yeah, sometimes I feel very stupid, these things. Myself. I mean, I'm talking about myself. I don't stand anywhere to pinpoint anyone to anyone. But yeah, recently I watched a movie called Good Doctors.
Yeah. What is it about?
It's about doctors in medical field, how doctors think and perform and functions, and then during that, it was a web series on Netflix.
Oh.
And I really liked it. And what I was so impressed with or touched me most is that there were many patients who came with a disease, cancer. Nowadays, we're like, when we hear the word cancer, it traumatizes us. And I was like, wow, these people who has cancer, they know their time frame, the size of their time frame.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. If I know that next month I have to go on such and such date to a USA, I'll start making my preparation.
Of course.
I'll start sorting out things that what I want to carry and what I don't want to carry.
True. I know. I'm doing that right now.
So if I would have known the date and the time of my departure, it would have been like so wonderful. I would have started sorting out things. But the problem is that we don't know the exact date. So sometimes we feel like, oh, I have time. So that's the sad part. We fool ourselves thinking that we have time.
I function in a way that I don't have time.
No, I mean, in the context of living life immortally,
Yeah. For me personally, right now, thanks to this pandemic, I don't know why. COVID did teach me a lot of lessons in life. All the lessons that I was supposed to learn, maybe I learned it in a very slow pace. But when COVID hit, I learned my lessons in a very fast pace. I was like, all right, here we go. If you do not get everything together, then forget about COVID consuming me. It's going to be my own brain consuming me. So COVID taught me a lot of lessons. And one of the lessons that COVID taught me, I believe that one of the biggest lessons that COVID taught me was, if you do not function to your ultimate capacity, you have to function. You have to function, and you have to make sure that the people around you, the people who are surrounding you as well, are all positive ones. So get rid of all the negative people in your life and function as more as you can, and just focus on all the positivity. That is something that COVID taught me a lot.
Me being so fortunate to be able to be in the practice of, following the path of Buddha and listening to his teaching, learning and contemplating his teachings in my life. One most powerful thing that I'm still in practice. I don't mean to say that now I'm an expert on it, but it really helped me a lot. It's all about how you perceive things in your life.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a negative outside.
What do you mean?
Negativity is in you, how you are able to perceive any incidents, good or bad, whatever you call it. But then once you are able to cultivate that capacity in you to be able to perceive them correctly, even the bad can be a good one to you. As you just mentioned, the COVID time. Though most of the people all over the world are cursing about it, crying about it. But you're saying, I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
So that's how you perceive it. And it's all in your mind, how you perceive them. How you take them. And that's exactly how I did it. I was actually complaining and crying occasionally. I wouldn't say I can't afford to complain all the time, but then occasionally I was crying about it, not having enough time to be in Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
I was traveling like crazy, and then I like, what do you wish? I said, oh, I wish I can have longer period of time to spend in Nepal. Oh, I wish I can go on isolated retreats. And that's exactly what my prayers were answered, and you know, and that's what I could do during this last almost 2 years. So when I say I'm really happy about the pandemic, of course it might not sound good for others, but personally, as an individual, it was a blessing in disguise. I mean, touch wood, I didn't come across the COVID-19 virus.
Yeah.
I am still protected till now, but then, of course, that doesn't mean I don't have my care and concern towards my fellow beings around me. I did what I could do within my capacity, and I'm happy that I could do it. At least I could try to do it. You know, you can't take care of everyone, but at least I can try to take care of some. You know, and that's what I could do. And yeah, then you live with it.
Yeah, no doubt on that. You don't have a choice, and like you said, it's a blessing in disguise. It made me more grounded.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, and that's what I really feel also about myself, going through many different kind of experiences in life. You know, the more I grow older or wiser, however you put it, I feel really humbled of being able to experience all of these things, what I've experienced in life, good or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, how do you see? This is something that everybody keeps asking me. You know, how can you stay so positive when there's so much chaos around us all the time? All the time. Forget about domestic chaos. If we turn on something, there's international chaos happening all the time. How do you try to stay as positive as you can? What's
You
your
see,
mantra on this?
it's never possible to be positive all the time. That's not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, as long as you're a human being, unless you're enlightened already,
Oh, yes.
or unless you're inhuman,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
a rock, or anything like that. As long as you function with your emotions are there. Disappointments are there, and especially in this modern civilization where we are so addicted towards quick gratification in everything we want to, have. In everything that we do, quick gratification is the biggest problem. We don't want to be patient. It is obvious. We feel down. We feel low. We feel disappointed. We are not happy. That's natural. But then, don't let that carry you too far. You know, that's the mantra actually. And then to be able to analyze that feeling and being aware of that feeling, what you're going through, and then see, नेपालीमा के भन्छ केलाउनु भन्छ नि.
Oh.
See if you can learn to त्यसलाई केलाउने के त्यो इमोसन हुन्छ नि. नमजा लाग्ने झ्याउ लाग्यो भन्छ नि. त्यो झ्याउ लाग्ने कस्तो हुँदो रहेछ केलाउनु न अलिअलि. And then you don't see त्यो झ्याउको केही पनि अस्तित्व नै रहँदैन. That's what I found, and a lot of the time that's what I try to practice. And of course त्यो भने meditation practice हो. Being aware of what you're feeling, what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're thinking. And त्यसैमा बानी बस्ने हो.
This episode is brought to you by Pulsar.